I bought a $300 emergency kit for my car. My husband called me paranoid until last night. I've always been the what if person in our relationship. What if the power goes out for days? What if we get stranded? What if here is an earthquake? My husband Mike lovingly calls it my disaster brain. 3 months ago, I spent $300 on a comprehensive emergency kit for our car: first aid supplies, thermal blankets, water purification tablets, hike lorry food bars, tools, flares, and more. Mike rolled his eyes when I showed him. Seriously, Jen, when would we ever need all this? We live in California, not the apocalypse, he laughed. Scrolling through his phone, I stored it in our trunk anyway, along with extra water and a few additional items I thought might be useful. Every time we cleaned the car, Mike would suggest we remove the bulky disaster box to make room for groceries or luggage. I always refused. Last night we were driving back from my sister's wedding in Lake Tahoe. It was late, around 11 p.m. when we took a scenic route through a remote mountain area. Mike was driving when our tire blew out on a particularly isolated stretch of road. No big deal, right? Except when Mike went to get the spare tire, he discovered it was flat too. And of course, no cell service, not a single bar. We'll just wait for someone to drive by, Mike said confidently. But after an hour, not a single car had passed. The temperature was dropping rapidly. It was already down to 38 degrees and still falling. Our car heater could only run so long before risking a dead battery. That's when I quietly went to the trunk and pulled out my unnecessary emergency kit. First came the thermal blankets that kept us warm, then the high visibility vests and emergency flares I set up on the road, the powerful flashlight with its sauce setting, the portable phone charger that ensured we'd have battery when we eventually found service, the energy bars that kept our spirits up during the long, cold night. At 4 a.m., a truck finally spotted our flares and stopped. The driver couldn't help with our tire, but offered to take us to the nearest town, 17 miles away. As we packed up, Mike held the emergency kit with unusual reverence. I'm sorry I gave you such a hard time about this, he said quietly. You weren't being paranoid. You were being prepared this morning as we waited for roadside assistance in a small town diner. Mike opened his phone and ordered his own emergency kit plus one for his parents and one for my sister. Sometimes the most satisfying words, "Aren't I told you so?" They're watching someone you love realize on their own that caring enough to prepare isn't paranoia. It's love in action. And yes, I did take a small moment to enjoy the look on his face when he realized his disaster brain wife had been right all along.